Hey, you're listening to the Be a Recording Artist podcast. I'm your host, Tamika Hall, and this is the place where worshipers who sing come together to learn about what it takes to do this business of ministry. Now, I'm really excited that you're joining me because I'll be honest with you, I didn't really know if I should do this podcast. I didn't know if I should launch this website. And I went back and forth about it really for about a good month. I was saying, God, I don't know if people are going to listen to what I have to say. I don't really know if I'm qualified. But when I started getting a bunch of different questions from people, either on Facebook, for those who knew me, via text messages, people would find me and talk to me. They would email me. I said, okay, well, I know I don't know everything, but there are people that are wanting information as well. And I'll tell you, when I really kind of started doing this thing and I really began to shift from being a worship leader to taking the songs that God had really given me and really turning this into the career that I've always wanted to have, which is to be able to minister the gospel through song, but to do it as a recording artist. I started searching for answers. I had a lot of questions and I was looking online and I really couldn't find any. And so my goal is that this podcast, that this website will be a living resource online that people will be able to come for days, years, whatever, weeks to come, and will be able to find information. It's also a fun way for me to kind of document this whole experience because, I think we look at different artists that we admire and we really just don't know where they came from. And there's a lot of interesting things that take place along the way. And I figured it would be really great to understand, what a studio experience actually is, to understand what to do when people don't respect the gift, and all those different things. And so that's what this podcast and this website is going to be about. I'm going to be very candid with you. You might be here because you've listened to other podcasts that I host, the Exploding Worship Arts podcast, which you can find on my website, www.tamikahall.com. And those, they're not necessarily more regimented, but they're not going to, this one's going to be a chill podcast. I'm probably not going to be doing a whole bunch of editing, so you're just going to get it live and in living color. So to me, I feel like the best place to start is by answering the question that was actually posed to me just the other day, which was, what is an independent recording artist? Now, again, this podcast is for worshipers who sing. For worshipers who sing and know that you want to take what you do to the next level. And while there are going to be some people that may venture here who are, on a major label, I really see where this is a resource for those of us who are having to go the independent route. So let's just go ahead and get started. Wow, you just heard my computer in the background. It's just restarting. But anyway, so what is an independent artist? Let's start with the dream. When we look at different artists, I think that the dream for a lot of people is, okay, I'm going to get picked up by a major label because they're going to hear a song that I've sung or that I wrote, or they hear me somewhere singing and they say, hey, we think that you are spectacular. We want to sign you. And then there is the dream that they will pour financial resources into the artist by developing us as an artist. They pay for our wardrobe, they develop our image. They not only do they do all of that, but the main thing is that they help us to develop our sound. And then from the sound, then they put us in the studio, and from the studio they produce the music. From there, then they distribute it worldwide, and everybody knows our name. And then we get all these great royalties. And then we are able to buy cars and a house, and we can buy mama a house, and we can buy our papa a house, and we can do all those great things that we've always wanted to do. The reality is, it's very difficult to get picked up by a major label as an unknown artist. If you're somebody that, has not necessarily made some type of a splash, in the industry, it's difficult to get picked up by a major label. And so a lot of artists are going the independent route, or you may have heard the term indie. You've heard of indie artists, I-N-D-I-E. So indie artist really is just a short way of saying independent. So what the independent artist is, as an independent artist, you actually control your look, you control your sound, you control when you go into the studio, when your music is going to be released. And while all of those can be looked at as benefits, some people see the drawback in that while you have all the control, you also have to foot the bill for everything. And so you are also responsible for all the logistics. So you're responsible for, if you have background singers, you have to determine if you're going to do that. You have to decide whether you're going to have somebody that creates beats or tracks for you, or if you're going to use a band. If you use a band, are you going to use a live band? You have to make those decisions. Then when you make those decisions, are you going to have rehearsal? Who determines when the rehearsal is? And again, then you figure out what studio are you going to record at. You have to think about all those things. Once the single's ready, then you have to determine, or the single, or if you do an album, whatever you're doing, then you have to figure out, well, how do I distribute this? How do I get this out to everybody? So all of those things falls on your shoulders as an independent artist. And while some people are afraid of that, I'll tell you, there are a lot there's a lot of upside to that. I think a lot of people, if you're not familiar with the term of independent artist, a lot of folks may be familiar with, the underground artists that you may, have heard of from the hip hop world or what have you. And while there are labels that are in the underground realm, largely there are independent artists that are there where they are making all the decisions, they're footing the bill for what they're doing, and they are very successful. When you work with a major label, then what happens is, yes, they put all the money out in advance. So they pay for everything. But then once your music comes out, then they are expecting to get their money back. And so you really don't make any money until you've paid back the label. When you are the person as the independent artist and you make all the decisions, it will limit everything that you want to do, because maybe you want to film this brilliant video, but you don't have the budget for that. So you have to figure out different creative ways for you to get out there. So, but here's the thing. Once you're an independent artist, then all of the profit that comes in belongs to you. Now, of course, there's going to be different things that you have to think about, and we'll talk about that more and more in different episodes to come. But again, that's what the independent artist is. It's really just that. You are in control as the independent artist. And so really, I hope that I've answered the question about what it is to be an independent artist. I want you to stick around. Go to the episode number 2, where I'm going to talk to you about what I did when I decided to get background singers and where I found them. So until next time, this is the Be a Recording Artist podcast. I am your excited host, Tamika Hall. Follow me at tamikahall.com. Make sure you download my free phone app, because you'll be able to get this podcast right to your phone. Whatever's going on, you're going to want to make sure that you do that, and make sure that you spread the love. Let everybody know about this new podcast and this new website. I'd love that. And lastly, if you could please write down in the show notes, can you please go to iTunes and give a rating for this show? I want to make a splash in the iTunes world. We're doing something different for the kingdom, and I would be very grateful if you did that. Today's episode is being sponsored by Rodney J. Neal and his new release, I Choose to Live. I absolutely love this new single off of his new EP. Make sure that you check him out right on Amazon.com. It's available wherever music is sold. So until next time, stay inspired, stay motivated, and stay blessed. Rodney, take us away with I Choose to Live.
Life may come with obstacles, yet some things may make you fall. Gentle like a tree, 'cause you won't break. This is not the end for you. So speak to yourself, you got to encourage yourself. No matter how low you may be, and say, I choose to live. I choose to live. Through the storm and rain, heartache and pain, I stand on the word that's in my heart. Oh, what? Oh, what? I know you may think this is the end. You're more than a conqueror. I know you say that life's falling apart. take a stand. Can't let the enemy think that he's won. So here is your chance to stand and live. I choose to live. I will live. I choose to live. Oh, through the storm and the rain, the heartache and the pain, I'll stand on the word that's in my heart.